Hey everybody, Tribal Talk with Brooks and Will is back. Episode 5, Will.
Yeah.
Episode 5. I gotta say, I thoroughly enjoyed this episode. I thought it was another great episode. I don't understand people on Twitter saying this season is boring. Are we watching the same season? I'm having fun.
Yeah, same. I didn't enjoy this episode as much.
I
Of like,
enjoyed the outcome.
I
I'll put it that
also
way.
enjoyed the outcome. I
Because we
didn't
were
enjoy the
right.
journey. Yeah, we were. So very right. We were very right about a lot of things this episode.
Especially Will. He called the whole Chrissy doing the fake girls alliance thing,
I did.
which was
Almost
brilliant.
to the
Will,
T.
pretty much, yeah.
I'm in her head. What can I say?
Have you been DMing Chrissy on Twitter? I'm just kidding, but
Yeah, I wish.
so let's get right into it. So the we get back to Alan's been voted off at the Blue Tribe. I already forgot the name again.
Levu.
Levu. Okay. And it seems like with Alan gone, there's less tension, but also nobody really trusts each other still. So Devin and Ashley pretty much promised each other that they'll go to Rocks if they lose the next time. I still have a hard time seeing that happen, but I guess
I
it could.
Well, I want to amend that. That's what it showed in the preview that they said. What they actually said in the episode, it was very cleverly edited for the preview last week. What was actually said was, we'll go to Rocks, but like, we're going to flip Desi. Like, we're going to flip Desi first. And then if Desi doesn't flip, then like, okay, maybe we'll consider going to Rocks. Like, I'm not going to vote you out. You're not going to vote me out. Which means they're going to go to Rocks, but like, they have zero intention of like, going to Rocks. You know what I mean? Like they're gonna flip Desi. That's their plan.
Maybe they will. I'm
I
not
think they will.
sure. Uh, I don't know. I wish I knew how tight these healers were, because
Yeah.
I get the vibe that they're tight, but especially with one of their own have just been being voted off, maybe that brings them closer
Yeah.
together again. But Joe is just has such a negative impact on anyone who's
Everyone.
aligned with him.
Yeah.
Uh, so, I mean, if I was out there, I would want Joe gone, but
Yeah.
I'm not out there. So I don't know. They may lose next week, and it all comes down to what Desi does, I guess. And
Yeah.
if not, it goes to Rocks, and maybe Joe or Desi goes home that way. We've been saying we thought both of them would be gone by now, I guess,
Yeah.
but
I mean, there are only 2 slots left.
they're both still here.
Yeah.
So well, we'll see how that shakes out.
Hmm.
I guess I'm interested to see if Joe doesn't go home pre-merge. I have to imagine Joe does not last long in the merge.
Yeah, I don't know how he could. I mean, actually, I take that back. I think that once Joe is there for so long, maybe not. Like, if Joe doesn't go early merge, I think Joe's going to go to the finals.
Oh
Because, well,
Jesus.
I mean, like, he's a goat. Like, because he's not as likable as Tony. Do you know what I mean? Like the only way that Tony won is because Tony is Tony, and Joe is not him. So like I just see if Joe makes it to a certain point, he's going to be a goat, and it's going to be really tempting to take him.
Hmm. Maybe. I'd want to get rid of him because I couldn't trust him.
Right. Well, I would also want to get rid of him because I don't know that I could live with him for that long. But like, I mean,
I
he
mean, I
seems like a
couldn't.
nice guy, I guess.
Well, I
He's
wouldn't even
just
go. I read his Twitter. I'm not sure I'd go that far
God.
either.
But like what we've seen of him interacting on the islands in this episode, just in this episode, which was very minimal, but like it seemed nice. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't
This
seem
was a very
unbearable to be around.
this was the least we've ever seen of Joe in an
Yeah.
episode. And I guess with Alan gone, the tension at that tribe has kind of
Yeah.
because Alan and Joe were very like dominant
Yeah.
personalities going at each other. So I guess now it's a little more mellow.
Yeah.
There's no real drama going on. Um, hmm. Although, I mean, if they go to Rocks, Ashley or Devin could go home as well. So
Yeah.
I don't
I
know.
After this episode, my stock in Devon is going up, and I've been very not on the Devon train this whole entire time. But like after this episode, I'm starting to feel good about him. Actually, like I think he's. We were talking about this before we went live that there were a few people who have been getting really good winners edits whose edits went a little sour this episode, and I think Devon obviously was not one of those people. I think, we've seen a lot of Devin. It hasn't necessarily been a strong winner's edit for him, but I think he's getting a positive edit. And this episode, his edit was starting to turn more strategically positive, whereas, people who were getting really strategically positive edits got kind of negative edits this episode. And so I think that looks really good for him. And I also I don't know, I'm kind of enjoying watching Devin play the game, which I
Yeah,
can't say for a lot of them.
I'm not minding Devin as much as I thought I would. I was
Yeah.
afraid it was going to be like stereotypical surfer bro, but he's doing pretty okay. And we sort of
Yeah.
wondered how he would do without Ryan, and I think he's doing okay.
I think
So
he's doing better.
yeah, maybe
I
even
mean,
better. So
I think honestly, I think unless he gets rocked out, I think. Oh, hello.
hashtag dorm life. You just
I
hear
think.
random people shouting.
Yeah, I think unless Ryan gets. Whoa, not Ryan. Devin. I think unless Devin gets rocked out at the next time Levu goes to tribal council, if they ever do again, I think unless he gets rocked out, I think he's probably going to go pretty deep at this point because he seems to be really likable, and he has a brain. Like, who knew? I mean, I'm sure a lot of people knew, but like we didn't know that,
Yeah,
especially not preseason.
I think we underestimated Devin. I think he has. I was afraid he was going to come across really douchey. I guess he and Patrick sort of reversed the roles for me because I sort of had Devin going out at like third,
Yeah,
and Patrick sort of filled that role as like the douche. So yeah, I'm liking Devin so far.
yeah.
So that's pretty much it for the Blue Tribe. We really didn't get much from them.
Right. I do want to say though that I also think my Ashley stock is going up after this episode. I know we've talked about it, and we've been like you've been very on the fence. I've always kind of been very pro Ashley. I think this episode was less of a question mark for her. I think her edit this episode was very good, and I think she's so far removed now from all of the Alan and JP drama that it's good for her potentially. I think she's definitely making the merge at this point.
Yeah, I just see. I don't think Ashley has what it takes to win. Just my 2 cents. So we don't have to go into that debate again. Uh, I just don't think she has what it takes to
Yeah,
win. I think she uh, can be a little. I think she can play with her emotions sometimes, which isn't that good. Uh, like she wasn't willing to cut JP, so I have some issues. So, but anyway, let's move on to the other tribe. Uh, we got a little bit more from the red tribe, but not really much more. Uh,
yeah,
so let's talk about Ben first. So this was like Survivor loves those like tear jerking moments, and
yeah,
this was one of them. So there was something in the fire that was making it make crackling noises.
yeah,
And Ben is, of course, a former Marine and who was in Afghanistan. So he was having some PTSD issues. So he just had to go by himself for a little while. And then he opened up to the audience a little bit and told us a little more about him. So um, I enjoyed this. I like Ben. I really like Ben. I think he's a fun guy, and he's not to open up to everybody, so that's nice. But Will, I wonder. Um, so obviously they wanted to show us this. I mean, do you think it could be My sense is that they're probably, because he talked about his wife a lot.
Hmm.
I feel like that means Ben at least makes it to the family visit. And I hope he makes it to the family visit after hearing him talk about his family. It was very sweet. Actually, I mean, I feel like he would go like fifth place anyway, so
Yeah.
he would make the family visit. I mean, do you think there's more to this? Like, do you think they want us to really like him because he, I don't know, makes it to the finals or something? Or do you think it's more setting us up for like when his wife shows up? What do you think, Will?
I mean, I think it could be that. I didn't even think about that, but I think that that's definitely a good reason. I think he's definitely going to make the family visit, but I agree. I think fifth place is about as far as he's going to go. I don't think it's to set us up for him in the finals. I think it's to set us up. They want us to like him because they're going to bring him back.
Oh yeah, Ben is playing again. I can feel it in
Yeah.
my bones.
So I think that's what it is. I think if anything, all of that storyline from him this episode just kind of like reaffirmed to me that Ben is not going to win this season.
Oh,
I know that like it sucks. He's super nice, but it's just like we've seen so much gameplay. Do you know what I mean? Like we're seeing a lot of people playing super strategically, and we've seen that from him too. But amidst all of that story, he said the phrase, like it's not about winning for me. Like even if I don't win, like that's not why I'm out here. And so I think that being included just kind of solidified to me that like Ben is one of the characters of this season. Ben is not one of the players in the grand scheme of the storyline. Do you know what I mean? Like, yes, he is a player playing the game, but the spotlight that they're gonna put on him is not the gamer spotlight, it's the person spotlight.
yeah. Well, I think he's got some game in him, but I
Well,
think
no, I do too. I don't think I think he's strategic. I just think that we're being like he's going to be painted as having a different story arc.
it reminded me of like the Sari moment last year when she finished the challenge. Like Survivor just loves those tear-jerking moments, and I did tear up. So mission accomplished, I guess. And Ben was getting a lot of love on Twitter after that, so that was nice to see. Uh, so anyway, so that was Ben,
Mhm.
and then we get to we get to talk about Cole, who apparently likes to eat a lot with
That I
his
mean,
with
that's
his
fine.
but with his fingers, Will, in the
I
jars.
mean, to be fair, the jar was empty. The one he was eating off of his fingers with was empty. He was licking it clean. It was the what bothered me was the jars of jelly and peanut butter that he was like sticking the spoon in his mouth and then putting it back in the jar.
Yeah,
That
that's
was
disgusting.
ooh,
I mean,
mm.
I know you're on an island, but
Right. Like
I mean,
sanitary eating is not really of high importance.
there are some things you don't have to sacrifice.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I know he's a big guy, so he's got to eat, but
Yeah.
and apparently, I don't know, he might be in trouble next week, but it's certainly not from
Mm,
starving. Anyway, so,
I don't. I'm so confused because it, Cole is a super nice guy. Like we're aware that Cole is a super nice guy, but he's just been getting like crapped on by the edit every single week. Like they're just like poking the bear. You know what I mean? Like it's episode 3. Look how dumb Cole is. Episode 4. Look how dumb Cole is. Episode 5. Look how gross and disgusting Cole is. Like I don't know what he did. Who he made mad.
Did Cole make someone at CBS angry?
Oh, he's just always the butt of the joke. Always. Since Patrick left, the butt of the joke has just been Cole consistently every single episode. And I hate it for him. I hate it so much. But like,
I hate
he
that
gave them the
people.
material.
I hate that people have been mean on social media because I mean he never said he was a good player, you know. So I mean he was recruited at Chipotle, like that's a fact.
Yeah,
So
a very well known fact.
yeah, so I mean he's even admitted it. So I don't know.
He got the Lauren kiss of death this episode.
Oh yeah, Lauren's mad, so that means
So he's gone.
yeah. Uh, so yeah, I there's no way and there's no chance that Cole does well in this game. No chance.
I mean, from what we saw, I know we're going to talk about it later, but like, it may not matter how well he does at the game.
Yeah, that's also true. So let's talk about the stars of the episode. Soko.
Oh,
Wait, what?
were we just going to skip over Jessica and Mike finding the hidden immunity idol?
Oh my gosh, I completely forgot about that. So let's talk about that. So I'm sorry. I was so fixated on I was grossed out by Cole because that was so disgusting. But yeah, how did I forget that? Anyway,
because you.
So don't finish that sentence, Will. So Jessica and Mike find the idol. So, do you think Mike and Jessica are like going to be a good duo going forward? Like, especially if Cole is out of the picture, which
Yes,
apparently is a possibility. So,
absolutely.
And I know we haven't seen much from Mike, which makes me wonder where does he fall in this season, like are people gonna what happens when he and Joe reconnect? Like, is Joe gonna be going after him? Like, what's gonna go on, so because as of right now, Cole, Jessica, and Mike have never been to tribal council, so it'll be interesting to see what happens to Mike when he's actually on the chopping block, because I wonder if people do people still think he's like a weasel, like does he?
Yeah.
Because he was on the bottom of the Healers Alliance, although I think as far as Jessica goes, he's in her good graces. But I don't know. Is Mike gonna stick with the healers, or is he gonna go play with some other people? What do you think, Will?
I think Mike's going to stick with Jessica, and I think Jessica's going to stick with Mike, but I don't think that means they're going to stick with the healers. I think that what we saw this episode, just from what they were both saying in their confessionals, because they both had some pretty decent airtime, even though Yawa really wasn't that important at all this episode. I think from what we've gotten from both of them in this episode, I think they're potentially a new duo. We've talked about all of these duos that have popped up, and obviously they found the idol together, but they weren't really aligned closely before. But we saw Jessica saying that she really wanted to start building a strategic alliance partnership kind of thing with Mike, and Mike saying that he was going to trust Jessica because he needed to trust somebody. And I think that the two of them kind of feeling that the need to work with someone is going to keep the two of them very close. I don't know that it's going to be something that goes deep in the game, but I don't think it's going to be because they turn on each other. I think they're definitely in it together now. Cole going home would solidify that more. If Cole doesn't go, it's going to be harder for anyone to trust Jessica. So I think it all just depends on what happens pre-merge, but I think that they're definitely a strong duo.
Right. I'm interested to see what happens with that going forward. Yeah. Who knows? Maybe Mike saves himself and someone who wouldn't have went home does go home. Who knows?
Yeah. I also think, I know you disagree, but I also think that this episode was good for Jessica again. I think we're seeing a steady rise in her edit.
It was I think whenever Jessica is not with Cole, it is good for Jessica. But Cole, excuse me, Cole is not good for Jessica's game.
Right. But I think we're seeing especially the past couple of episodes, that Jessica is slowly but surely strategically distancing herself from him. Um, I don't know. The edit's just her edit has been so consistently positive the past 3 episodes because we like saw nothing from her in the first two, and then we're kind of like smacked over the head with her in episode 3, and it's just been very consistent since then. And so I don't know. And Mike too. I think Mike's edit this episode was also really positive, and he kind of faded out in between episode 1 and episode 5, and so I think that also bodes really well for him. I think we're potentially looking at 2 people who go very deep into the merge. Maybe not all the way, but I think that they're definitely being set up right now by the edit to go pretty deep.
I still don't think a healer wins. That's just my opinion. I still am not convinced. I don't think. I mean, I don't necessarily. I don't really agree that the past 3 episodes have been positive for Jessica. I think we've just seen Jessica being disappointed by Cole. So I don't see that as a winner's edit. I just don't see it. So, but this was a good episode for Jessica. I will give you that. And they have the idol now. It'll be interesting to see what they do with it. We've seen idols played incorrectly a lot lately, but maybe they'll play it right. I don't know. I'm really at a loss for how this merge is going to go out. Like, I don't know, because to me they're so split right now.
Yeah,
I can't tell who's going to be working with who.
Yeah, can I make a conjecture? I don't think Yaba is going to vote anyone else out before the merge.
No, they're not going to lose.
They could lose people, person.
Well,
but like I don't think they're going to vote anyone out before the merge. I don't think that Jessica, Mike, or Cole is going to set foot into tribal council until the merge happens.
No, I think they're set. I think it's either going to be Soko or Levu that goes to the next one. Because, I mean, we weren't really set up this episode for going into next week, you know. I mean, there's no one really on this tribe. Well, I guess, you know, Cole could have been voted out, but maybe that doesn't even happen for him. So we'll see about that. But yeah, I think everyone on this red tribe, the red tribe really got lucky. I mean, they have all the, I mean, they got strong people, they got people who are good at puzzles, so that was a good matchup there. I think the other 2 tribes, especially the yellow one, I feel like was a little imbalanced. But as we saw in the challenge. So let's. Are you ready to move on to Soko?
Yeah.
Okay. Soko, the stars of the episode. So it's interesting. We sort of figured Rourke would be on the bottom, being the only healer on the tribe, but she actually developed a good relationship with Allie.
Mm-hmm.
But well, let's talk about Allie and her relationship with Rourke for a second, because I think this was a mistake on her part. I really think gravitating towards a healer when the healers are really dominating because none of them have been voted out yet,
right,
I think it intimidates the other people on the tribe, because, like, great, they have 6 people, now they have 7 because Allie's flipped to them, you know?
Right.
So I think that's very intimidating to other people. And there was something she said, I don't remember her exact words, but you'll know what I mean. She seemed okay sort of dropping her past relationships, which seemed really out of character.
Yeah.
And I mean, I liked her relationship with Lauren. You know, I thought
Yeah.
They had a good thing going, and I think she had a good thing going with Ryan, but maybe she did something. I mean, maybe she was so adamant about keeping Rourke that it turned Ryan off. I don't know. So, I mean, I I feel like Allie has dug herself into a hole a little bit. What
So
do you think?
I remember what you're talking about. There was a clip where we didn't see her talking, we heard her talking. It kind of, I mean, like we did see her talking at the very end of the clip, of her essentially saying that the hustlers were just a bunch of stupid people. Um, I I listened to it, and again, this is just I obviously have no idea what is actually happening. To me, it sounded like that clip had been cut and spliced together. I'm not saying she didn't say that the hustlers were stupid. Like those words had to have come out of her mouth in at least some order because she like it it was in the episode. Um, but I think there might have been more to that confessional that she was saying, and I think that they just used that to kind of explain why she was considering working with Rourke. But I mean, it makes sense to me just a little bit. It doesn't make sense to me for her to be like, Rourke has a bunch of numbers and it'd be great to work with an alliance of six, because then she's assuming Ryan's with her, because then that puts them at 7 and 8 in an alliance of eight, and that's dumb. But
That's at the bottom of Alliance of Eight at that. So
right,
I don't know.
I just, but it does make sense to me in the sense that they knew Alan had been voted out. So like the heroes are down another number. And so it almost doesn't even matter. Do you know what I mean? Like if the healer is gone there, then for all she knows, Ashley's the next person to go off of Levu, which means they're another hero down. So you get to the merge and it doesn't even matter. The healers have all the numbers. And so why wouldn't you want to work with Rourke? Because then you're guaranteed at least eighth place when you could be gotten rid of earlier. And so I think it makes sense. And like we've seen her play the game already. Like she just she makes connections with everyone. That's what she does. And like if she liked Rourke and then she made a personal decision to try and work with Rourke, cool. Um, I think the edit was really bad for her. Not super bad, but like it definitely took a negative side in her strategy, because she's been fairly spot on with her strategy uh, for the rest of the episodes. So I think like this episode was a little weird for Allie in that sense, but I don't think it's non-redeemable. Like I think that if Ryan had tried to convince her to vote out Rourke, she would have. Like if he had been like, I would prefer to vote Rourke out right now, I think Allie would have gone with him. She wouldn't like willingly put herself on the bottom. Do you know what I mean? Like she's not dumb. I just think that Ryan lied to her and she trusted him, and so she didn't think anything about it.
I
Um,
think he was probably afraid it would blow up, though.
yeah, but I mean, what does he think it's going to do now? I mean, we
I
saw,
mean,
but
it's better to do it and then deal with the repercussions than do it before you've even voted the person out. Do you
yeah,
get what I mean?
yeah, no, I
Like
do.
there's like a damage control thing that happens after every
Right.
vote.
It's
So
just
I don't know. It's just I feel like she has dug herself into a hole here. I think her and Rourke had a lot in common. I mean, they're from like the same area and like the Southern California area, and maybe she thought she had more in common with the people that were on the healers, because I mean the hustlers were a band of misfits. Let's face
yeah,
it. But I don't I feel like that maybe made Ryan feel like she was ditching him. You get what I
yeah,
mean? Like
yeah.
so I just I don't blame Ryan for not telling her. That's all I'm saying. I think she should have been looking at the bigger picture. I don't know. That's just
Right.
me.
Yeah.
Anyway, we don't have to we don't have to done on this too much. Uh, but let's see. What should we talk about next? I guess
Do you
let
think?
what
Well, I was just gonna say, like, so we've talked about Allie. Do you think that Ryan made the right move? thinking overall repercussions of what this means for his game now, do you think he made the right move?
After seeing Allie's behavior, yes.
See, I
Like
disagree.
if we had merged onto that tribe and Allie walked up to me and said, "Hey, we're gonna form an alliance with Rourke and we're gonna work with the healers," I would have been like, "No, that's my view on it. I wouldn't want to work with the healers because I would be on the bottom of uh 6 or 7 people, you know. So
Right.
to me, she backed herself in a corner here. I think
Yeah.
Ryan comes out better because one, he still has his ally Chrissy, and I think two, he can try to do damage control with Allie and possibly salvage that relationship because hopefully Allie can see the forest through the trees. So
Right. I don't
we hope
know.
so.
I'm very on the fence with this move for him though. Just because we talked about this a little bit before. I think yeah, not it isn't smart to work with the healers. I understand that. What I think though is that what Ryan said was my two closest allies don't want to work with each other, which potentially is false. And he's just like, so someone's going to be really mad at me no matter what happens. And like, okay, if that's the logic that you're basing this vote off of, then either Chrissy's going to be mad at you or Allie's going to be mad at you. If Chrissy is mad at you, it's because you voted her out of the game. So then it doesn't even matter. Whereas you vote Rourke out, and then Allie is still there and is angry at you. So like, he didn't have to make an enemy in the game with that vote, and he did. And like long term, absolutely, it's better for him to be with the heroes than with the healers. I just think Ryan didn't have any targets, and now he
The
could
healers
potentially
just
have some targets.
the healers just have way too much power right now. I mean, look at it. They pretty much control the other two tribes, you know?
Yeah.
They just have way too much power, Will. So it to me it made no sense that Allie was hooking up with Rourke. That's just me.
Right, but
I
it
mean,
doesn't
I
make any
get
sense
she
for
had a
I just it doesn't make sense to me for Ryan to not have tried to talk her out of that. Like if you're going to vote against her, why not change her mind or explain to her
I think
why?
she probably would have questioned him, why is he so uh afraid to get rid of Chrissy, and he's not going to tell her about the super idol, you know? So I think it had to be a blindside.
I don't know. I don't think it's good for him.
We'll find out, but I'm just
Yeah.
saying, I just think it was smarter to just do damage control after the blindside.
Hmm.
Because if he tells Allie, Allie's going to go tell Rourke. Rourke's going to go looking for an idol or something, you know?
Yeah.
So, because she probably thought she had nothing to worry about. So,
Right. Well, there wasn't an
um,
idol though. Their idol is gone.
but she doesn't. Oh, wait, she did know
Yeah, she
that.
knows.
Never mind. Uh, do they put new ones after the tribe swap, though?
I don't think so.
But Joe played his.
Right, but I don't. He played it on Lebu, so I don't think it would go back to Soko. I don't think they're gonna redo
But he
Hidden Immunity Idols until the
found
merge.
it. But he found it on Soko.
Right, but I don't think they'd put it back there because then they would
Anyway,
know that he used it. Do you know what I mean? They're not allowed to know that he used the idol, and so
it's it's not important
yeah,
anyway. So I don't know. Rourke would have done something. She would have, blown up everyone's game at Tribal or something. You
yeah,
know, I mean, it was just too. It was just better for it to be a blindside. I'm telling you,
okay,
and just I think the better idea is I get to keep Chrissy, who is probably going to be loyal to me at least for a little while, and then I get to keep Allie. I just have to do damage control because I
yeah,
mean, um, Allie, she still has her relationship with Lauren, even though she acted like that didn't really mean that much to her. And they still have Devin. So I don't know. it was a good move. I mean, I'm not. It wasn't a good move. It was the necessary move.
Okay.
I'll say that. So, um, yeah. So that's how I feel. I know it was a. I mean, I feel like it wasn't a good situation for everyone to be in
Yeah.
because somebody's losing something. This
Right.
isn't like
Yeah.
voting off Simone and no one cares.
Right.
There are bigger stakes with this vote. So, but to me, I'm just like, if I'm out there, I see healers are completely running one tribe. The
Yeah.
other tribe just got rid of Alan, and I don't know what happened. Maybe Ashley has flipped. They could think Ashley is working with the healers for all they know. Because
Yeah.
Chrissy and JP know Ashley hates Alan. So I just,
Right.
to me, I'd be like, healers have way too much dang power in this game. I got to cut at
Yeah.
least one. So
Yeah.
I think it was a good move to get rid of Rourke. Uh, the way they went about it can be debated, but I just think it was better to keep it a blind side.
Yeah. I don't know. I it's not I don't do you know what I'm saying? Like I 100% agree. Like it was the better move to take out Rourke. I just think that I don't think this situation was good for Ryan at all. And I honestly am starting to think that it's going to bite him very soon.
I don't know. Again, I am at a loss for what is going to happen once they merge. I have no idea where people are going to go.
Yeah.
Um, Possibly healers stick together and try to do something. I don't know. That may not even happen. I
Yeah.
just don't know. Especially with Joe around. I still
Yeah.
I can't believe Joe has made it this far. Can't get over that. So Rourke is gone, Will. So
Yes.
you want to talk about the previews for next week?
Well, I think first, can we quickly touch on the negative edit that Chrissy got in this episode?
Oh yeah, I
Because I
forgot.
think this is a very weird change of events. Chrissy has been very positively given a strategic edit over the past 4 episodes. And then this episode, I think we were kind of given shades of chaos cast. Chrissy is a mean old woman.
Well, I
Edit.
guess they wanted us to think they were trying hard to really make us think she was going home. So I guess that has a little bit to do with it. But
Yeah.
I think the whole situation with like the fight with Rourke, I mean, if they both were ignoring each other, that probably wasn't good on either of their parts. But
Yeah.
I think here's what I think happened. I think they got there and figured it's going to be me or you. So I think they spent the whole time trying to convince everyone to vote the other out rather than
Right.
try talking to each other. That's what I
Right.
think happened.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of blew up at Tribal. Um,
Yeah.
so I mean, that's all I can really count it down to. Similar to how, I mean, think about how Chrissy handled Katrina, to be honest.
Right.
I mean, Chrissy was targeting Katrina the second they hit the beach because
Right.
Chrissy knew it's me or her. So,
But the difference is that yes, she did that with both of them. But the edit told us that Chrissy and Katrina were best friends. Like that's what they
yeah.
told us. They put up no pretense this time. We just got a lot of what looked very strongly like Chrissy doesn't like women. Do you know what I mean?
I don't know about that.
I think we got heavy shades of it this episode. I don't think they like smacked us over the face with it. Do you know what I mean? But I think they were like, look, Chrissy wants Rourke gone. She doesn't like Allie. And like Allie is someone who has been given a very positive edit thus far. Like, look, she doesn't like this person who you all really like. I think that it I don't know. I
I
don't think
think
it
it's,
impacts her gameplay at all. I
let
just
me,
think that it doesn't bode well for her in terms of the fanosphere.
let me just say this. I think it was basically the woman version of Joe and Alan. I mean, you got two big
Right.
personalities. I mean, in hindsight, Chrissy and Rourke have similar playing styles, I would
Yeah.
say. I mean,
Yeah.
we didn't get to see much of Rourke, but from what I can conclude, she was fairly strategic, at least on her healer's tribe. Even though we really didn't get, I don't have that much proof of that because we really didn't see that much. But let's
Yeah.
just pretend. But I think they're both what's the word, alphas, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
And so they're going to go at each other. So I
Yeah.
mean, to me, I saw it coming. So
I
I
mean,
guess I was not surprised. I don't know. I
I
don't
wasn't
I don't see it as like Chrissy hates women though.
but I think if you read the writing on the wall, you know what I mean? Like that is stereotypically how people respond to those kinds of things when they're on Survivor or Big Brother. Like fans. That is how fans are going to perceive it. And like again, this has no bearing on her like in the game, obviously, because it fans don't get a say in who wins Survivor. But Survivor normally does a really good job at making sure that at the end of the day, the person who wins this season is someone who the viewers are going to be happy with. And like I think it was veering a little bit too much into Chaos Cast territory, and it scares me for her because we saw her like kind of not wanting to swap at a challenge she wasn't doing good at. Like she was like, hey, who wants to come in? And then like three people were like, I mean, we can. And she was like, oh, I'll just do it. And then just kept doing it. And like
That yeah,
it,
they had bad communication at the challenge. I mean I
yeah,
blame everyone for that because she was like,
yeah,
does anyone else want to do it? They're like, I can, and like acting like they were unsure. And I mean,
yeah,
she was probably just like, well, someone has to do it. I guess I'll do it again. I mean, I don't know.
yeah.
I think they
I'm
were
really
content.
worried.
I think they figured they were gonna lose by that point. But
Yeah. The edit was just so,
I'm not seeing Cass well. I'm really not.
I'm not
I
seeing it overall, but I saw it in this episode.
I'm not seeing it well. I think they were trying to pull a Lauren, I guess. I mean, they were trying to make us think someone was going home over the person that actually goes home. Um, and they did a good job because I was like, oh no, my winner pick is about to go home. But I don't know. It wasn't a good episode for any of the people getting winners edits, in my opinion.
It wasn't good
So
for Allie and Chrissy
yeah,
or
that's
Ryan.
true. Well,
The three of them had a bad episode.
I think Ryan wasn't that bad. I think
I think Ryan's challenge performance, I mean, like the edit that came out of that was also very good for him. So I guess yeah, I guess he had an okay episode.
so. Here's my thing. I really don't take into account what happens at challenges.
Right.
That's just my opinion. I mean I half pay attention to them anyway. I'm just like, okay, finish up. I want to see who's voting out who, you know. So I just I'm not that invested in the actual challenge as it's going on. I'm just like, okay, we could have cut this and had more camp time. But you know, I don't know. Look at look at someone like Cochran who like sucked at challenges, but I mean he still won. So I don't know. I think Ryan is still in a good position, and even when he's not maybe getting like a positive edit, he's still being shown, and I think that's important. As far as you know, who's going deep and
Right.
who's not. Because I mean, Adam Klein, he did not always have the best episodes. So,
Right.
especially that one with Taylor. Yeah. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
I
I
don't think
just
Michelle had the best episodes either. So,
I don't know. It's been this episode too, and I think also we talked about how Ryan and Chrissy are aligned. still don't think that Chrissy's really with him. And,
I
and
disagree.
I think Chrissy thinks that she can tell him what to do, because we saw in this episode that Chrissy went to JP and like Chrissy and JP decided it was going to be Rourke, and she's like, "So me, you, and we'll just Ryan will vote with us." And then she just like told Ryan, she was like, "Hey, me, you, and JP should vote out Rourke, right?" Because she's trying to do with this all women's alliance. So like Chrissy is also lying to Ryan, not just to JP. So I don't think Chrissy's going to stick with him. She's going to stick with the heroes. Like Chrissy's going to go to Ben.
It's like I said, it's hard because I have no idea how this merge is going to go. But I remember, I mean, the first episode and then this past episode, and then Ryan trusts her enough to, not tell his ally who he's voting with, the ally he's been playing with for 12 or so days. So, I mean, to me, that shows loyalty. And I think
Yeah.
Chrissy will see that and say, okay, this kid really is with me. So I don't know. Um, I I don't see her as a cast figure like you do. I'm not.
I don't see her as a cast figure. I think that this episode, she had a very cast-like edit. It's the first time it's ever happened. I just think this episode we were getting shades of it. I don't think she's a Cass at all. I don't think that. I think this episode it looked like she was.
Maybe she was getting a little like Monica Culpepper or something. Haven't you ever heard of a neat lady? Did you get that joke, Will?
I got it.
Okay. Anyway, so any other final thoughts on Soko, Will?
I do, but they tie into the scenes from next episode, so we can just talk about this.
Okay. Let's talk about next week. First up, Allie is not a happy camper. Obviously, she feels blindsided and lied to, and etc. And I guess Ryan's doing damage control. I have to wonder, Will. I know you're not going to agree with me on this. This is a pretty hot take, Will. The hottest take I've served this season, probably. But is Allie the Michaela? And all I'll say is I can see her being voted out because as of right now, she is on the bottom of that tribe, if you really think about it. So if that tribe loses again, she's probably going home. Now, they could win the challenge. We'll see. Or, I don't know. If someone gets medically evacuated, do they still vote someone off?
They might.
I don't know how that works. But I think they did it with Dana. Yeah, Dana. From the Philippines. I think
They also did in Korong too.
Oh yeah, Caleb and
Alicia.
Alicia. So I answered my own. Well, you helped me answer my own question. So yeah, so even if someone gets medically evacuated, she still is on the bottom of that tribe well. So I guess all we can hope for is that the blue tribe loses. But I mean, what is your take on Allie sort of, on the bottom of this tribe?
I mean, I think she is on the bottom, absolutely, right now. And like very easily could be she could be the bookend of pre-merge because she's been very heavily edited. It's just like I don't know, because Michaela didn't have a winner's edit. Michaela had a character edit, and I think that's the difference. Is that Allie she's been getting a winner's edit, not a character edit, and like that's not me suggesting that Allie's gonna win, because like people get winners edits and don't win every single season of Survivor. And it's possible. It's definitely possible that goes home next week. Like the writing's on the wall for her, but also she has options, and that option is that she was under the impression that Ryan was going to be voting Chrissy out and like believed that. And so Allie's super upset. Ryan turned on her. We saw in the preview that Allie is like, you told me you were voting out Chrissy. Like, you said that to me. So, like, that's already out there in the open. And like, I'm not sold on this at all. Like, because things happen in Survivor all the time like this. And, like, last ditch efforts happen too. But, like, I would not be surprised for Allie to try, if not also succeed in having Ryan voted out if they go to tribal council.
Wow, that would be wild for sure. Yeah, it's. I mean, it's possible. I still say no. I think. I mean, I feel like if Allie goes out now, I still feel like she. I mean, she's pretty well liked. I feel like she could be brought back as like a
Yeah,
Michaela or a Kelly Whitworth or something like that. You know.
absolutely. Yeah, I
Uh,
think she's coming back
yeah.
regardless.
So, I mean, there's been people who go pre-merge that were featured heavily, and
Yeah.
I'm calling it. I think I also can't get over the fact that no one from the promotion has been voted out yet. And
Yeah.
there's always one person.
Yeah.
So
I just also think it could be Ryan because he's gotten the character edit. He's been heavily boosted by production, and it's just like his gameplay edit has dwindled off. And so, like, I wouldn't be surprised for it to be him either.
possibly. I'm saying because I mean Allie just voted against Chrissy. Ryan just proved his loyalty to Chrissy. I just don't understand why she would vote Ryan out.
I mean,
Just
like, I agree, but like, also, if that was what was happening, like, say Rourke was like, "Hey, Chrissy," and so Allie's like, if Allie can spin it as Rourke wanted you to vote, like, wanted to vote you out, and Ryan and I decided that we were gonna be with Rourke, and so we just agreed to vote you out, then like technically it's like, yes, Allie wrote her name down, but it's not like Allie was like, "Oh, Chrissy's got to go. Let me make sure everyone wants Chrissy to go home." Do you know what I mean? And so, like, if Chrissy sees it that way, which is also not probable, but like, if Chrissy were to see it as Allie wasn't like gunning for me, she was just under the pretense that I was the person going home, and so that's who she voted for, which would be a hard sell. But like, if it were to happen, I think Ryan would be in hot water.
I think Allie made a huge mistake dealing with Rourke. That's just
Yeah,
uh, that was a huge
absolutely.
mistake. I think
And
she dug herself in a hole.
if she goes home, then that's why.
Yeah. Um, I mean, if she had stuck with Ryan, I feel like the story's different. I mean, uh, Chrissy may vote out JP and keep that.
No,
I don't think that would happen. But I'm saying
yeah,
it's not as impossible as it is now. Is all I'm
right.
saying.
But I mean, like,
Uh,
almost rewinding back, maybe Allie working with Rourke was her only option because, like, say she goes with the four, you know what I mean, and Rourke goes home in fifth. Allie is clearly the fourth person. Like, if Ryan was willing to vote with Chrissy the first time, then, like, obviously Allie is sitting in four in a four-person tribe, regardless of what she does.
I'm
So
just
maybe it made
wondering.
sense.
I'm just like, does Allie not have a concept of like alliances in the merge? Like, you can't be aligned with everyone. You
Yeah,
know, like it's like, I mean, if she maintained her relationships with the Hustlers and she is in this 8-person alliance with the Healers, I mean,
yeah,
that's only 4 people that you
yeah,
would vote off before you get to your alliance. I mean, it's just I I, I mean, is she not thinking like long term? I don't know what's going on.
yeah,
She I I'm getting the sense she didn't like the tribe she was placed on. She
yeah,
played with the people she was on the tribe she was placed on for the time she was with them. Now that uh, there's these new tribes, she's wanting something different.
yeah,
Uh, but it was just with the wrong person.
yeah.
So All right,
We'll see.
we've talked about this ad nauseum.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the other thing
Yeah.
shown in the preview of poor Cole, as if things couldn't get any worse.
Yeah.
Cole is passing out. Uh,
Yeah. It looked like he was having a seizure. I was
I
very
am
concerned.
I am very concerned with for Cole. I mean, obviously Cole is not like my favorite player on this season, but I don't like it when anyone gets medically evacuated. I like people to be voted out. I like to see dreams crushed, you know. So um I definitely don't want Cole. I hope it's just like who I was it Sydney from Go Wrong who had a spell, but then she was okay. Uh,
Yeah.
I hope it's that and not something worse. Maybe he was dehydrated or something. I don't know.
Maybe.
But I mean, if he does go home, that will be interesting because I did not plan on him going home in the pre-merge. So I don't know if he doesn't go. I mean, if he doesn't go home, I guess it'll be just a regular episode. But if he
Yeah.
does, it may be a two-parter. I don't know.
Yeah.
Um,
That would make the merge the week after.
yep. The merge is coming after
Oh
next
yeah.
week. After next week is the merge for sure. It'll
Yeah.
just I'm just not sure if we're losing two more people or one more person, you know?
Yeah.
So uh I mean, Will, do you think they pretty much spoiled that he's gonna be medically evacuated, or do you think they're just dramatizing it?
You know, I I don't remember what the preview looked like for the episode that Caleb got medevaced. I mean, that was different because three people went down that day, and so they did show all of that happening. But they didn't like give any hint that Caleb was going to be medevaced. They did say that someone was going to be medevaced, and so like going off of that, the last time there was a medevac, yeah, they spoiled it in the preview, but they didn't spoil who it was, and so because of that, I don't I don't know. I honestly, when I saw it the first time, I wasn't even sure that it was real. Like, part of me honestly believed that Cole just like fell over and did it just to be funny. But like, I don't know. I'm very on the fence because we've gotten not a very positive edit for him. And normally, if someone's going to be medevaced, they at least get an invisible edit, if not a mildly positive one, because they have little to no impact on the game. And so he has had an impact on the game, and so they've like had to do what they've had to do. I don't know. It would be a very weird medevac edit in terms of his story arc.
To see, I mean, the last thing people will remember from Cole is him sticking his hands in jars.
Yeah.
That would be bizarre. I don't know. Do I call red herring?
I don't,
Hmm.
one of them has to be a red herring, right? Or they could both be red herrings,
Well,
technically.
I don't think Allie's is a red herring. I believe
Well,
that
well,
100%.
we didn't see anything from Lebu, and if they go to tribal council, then technically both of them are red herrings. In the sense that like we've been set up for either Allie or Cole going home next episode. And so part of me wants to believe that neither of them are going home next episode. Honestly, I see Cole being medevaced being more likely than Allie going home next episode.
Huh. Tough call. I don't think Cole will be like I don't think that red tribe is going to lose
No.
immunity. So if Cole goes home, it's because he was medically evacuated. So
Yeah.
uh, I think everyone else on that red tribe is safe.
Yeah.
So with that being said, uh, let's talk about our best and worst players of the week. Will
Okay.
I guess do you want to go first this week?
Sure. So my best player this week,
It wasn't a good week for a lot of people, so
anyone.
this is tough. But uh,
Oh,
maybe the best thing is for people that we didn't see at all.
honestly, okay. I need you to stick with me here.
Okay.
So my best player this week is Lauren.
Okay.
We didn't even talk about her in this recap. That's how under the radar she was. But we still saw her
She gave the
and
kiss of death.
she gave the kiss of death. And I just so when Ben was like in the midst of this Ben story arc, we saw Lauren being really concerned for him and like going to check on him. And we saw her talking to everyone else on the tribe about him and about his past. And like she was just very engaged in the social dynamic. And we kind of had that juxtaposed with her being like, okay, Cole is like, Cole got to go. And I think that what we've gotten from Lauren over the past like few episodes, to me, it's just really impressive to me that she is like in. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't even think Lauren's on the chopping block anytime soon right now. And I think she's integrated herself really well. And so like I feel weird having her as my best player this week because technically she did nothing in this episode, but like I don't know, man. I didn't want to say Jessica for a third week in a row and like I'm running out of options for this ep. So I feel good about Lauren right now and so I'm going to say Lauren. And then my worst player this week, oh, mm, is Ryan because I still don't think the way he handled that situation is good for him moving forward. Maybe there wasn't a good way for him to handle that situation moving forward, but I think that it was a mistake and I think it's going to hurt him in the long run. So, Ryan's my worst player this week.
Okay. Um, I'm not gonna even challenge that because
We've beaten that to
we
death.
have talked about that way too much. Okay, my best player is actually gonna be someone that I was worried about. Excuse me. Someone I was worried about because we saw so much of him in the first episode and it was like nothing. So I'm gonna actually give it to Dr. Mike. Um, One, he found the idol, so that's always a plus. So if he feels like he's in danger, he could always play it and save himself. But I think he he's improved his relationship with Jessica.
Yeah.
And so I mean, if the healers, are in a dominant position in the merge, which I kind of hope they're not, but if they were to be, I think Mike has moved several steps up. Uh, and especially with Rourke gone, I mean, and Cole could be out next week. So Jessica's
Yeah.
looking for her like number two, So I think, we're seeing a lot of them for a reason.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's because they're going to be targets at the get go or if they're going to go far. Like I said, I have no idea how
Yeah.
this merge is going to play out until I see
Right.
the dynamics and who hooks up with who. But I mean, either way, Dr. Mike's
Yeah.
got an idol. That's always a plus.
Yeah.
And I think he was smart to share it with Jessica. Just hope she
Yeah.
doesn't tell. Just hope she doesn't tell Cole.
Yeah.
Um, so worst player. Um, I'm gonna have to say Allie, and we're not gonna
Yeah. No,
go
that's
back.
fine.
We're not gonna go back into that again. But like have said before, she dug herself into a hole this week. The healers are the dominant uh, people so far. Really not good to try to team up with someone that's in the minority. That would have been a really simple vote off, and it would have been quite easy, and no troubled waters there. But I think it was a bad move, and I think it's going to cost her. So with that being said, Will,
Yeah.
who is going home next week?
Okay. So, do you want to go first? I have two possible scenarios.
Okay, I'll go first. Um, I this is hard because
Yeah.
I felt like Rourke was really obvious, and now it's not so obvious.
Yeah.
Um, I'm just gonna stick with this. I think Allie's going home. Because I think that tribe is probably gonna lose again if there's a
Yeah.
immunity challenge. They're not very strong. She's on the bottom, and Chrissy and JP ain't flipping on each other. So,
Right.
who do you think will?
So, okay. I think that's definitely an option. But I'm going to go with two different options so that there are three options on the table going into next week since it's so up in the air. So I think it's also possible because we saw that Allie tweeted and then deleted that she has no luck with rocks. So just hear me out.
Yikes!
It goes to a tie and Ryan goes home to rocks.
Why would she say she has no luck with rocks, though?
Because if Ryan is willing to vote with her to go to rocks, then like that's someone that she would need going into the merge. And so if Ryan is willing to then not vote with Chrissy and JP because he doesn't want to write her name down, then like she would trust him again. You know what I'm saying? So like potentially. It's a shot in the dark, but it's like potentially. But I think my more realistic option for next week is that we got a lot of edit from Levu this episode about the Devin wanting Joe out and the Devin and Ashley being locked in and the like we're gonna go to rocks, but like let's try and flip Desi. Like we got very set up for that to happen. And if it doesn't happen pre-merge, I don't know why we would have gotten all of that set up this episode. So I think there is a very strong potential for Levu to lose, go to tribal council, and then for maybe rocks again. I don't know because we haven't gotten anything from Joe, and so now I don't think Joe is the merge boot or the pre-merge bookend anymore. So I don't know who to call it, but I think that it might be someone from Levu, and it could be Devin.
It's tough because we really weren't shown that much in the preview. It's hard to
Yeah.
draw
Yeah,
anything.
and we were given nothing from them. I don't know why we were shown all of those things from them this episode if they're never going to come to fruition. Because like once we get to the merge, it's not going to matter as much.
I do
And
think
they like
it was interesting that you brought up they were talking about flipping Desi. So maybe that does happen and Joe does go home.
yeah, or maybe Desi goes home because they tell Joe. Maybe Desi is wishy-washy, and so they tell Joe that Desi was willing to vote him out, and then they flip him.
I don't
There's
know.
just so many options that could happen next week.
Someone from this promo has to go home.
Right, and Desi was also in the promo.
I know it. It's got to be Desi or Allie for sure,
or Ryan. It could be
or
Ryan.
Ryan. I guess I don't see
So
that happening.
do we want to say those? Let's put those are the three names that are on the table for next week.
Okay.
One of the three of them is going home next episode, unless Cole gets medevaced and they don't get rid of anyone else.
I am putting
let's not even predict that.
I'm putting like 80% of my bets on Allie, 20% on Desi. I'm not really entertaining Ryan. I don't think that's going to happen. But we shall see.
Okay, I'll be 30-30-30, and then I'll put the extra 10% on Cole.
Okay. All right. Any other final thoughts on episode 5, Will?
I'm ready for episode 6.
Me too. I'm enjoying this season. I don't know what the heck y'all are talking about saying this is boring. I am having fun. I was on the complete edge of my seat this week. Mainly because I thought my winner pick was about to go home and I was like, crap. But it didn't happen. I like for my winner pick to at least to make them merge, you know?
Yeah.
So because I think my winner pick last season was like who did I pick? I I think it was someone I maybe it was I was probably basic and picked like Sari or something.
Probably.
I can't
We knew
remember.
Sarah was winning by the time we got to the merge last time, though. So maybe it'll be really blaringly apparent who's winning this season in a couple of episodes.
Yeah. Um, but I like for my winner pick to at least make the merge. That way I feel a little
Yeah.
bit I that way I do a little bit better than Jeff Probst, who picks first boots.
Mm,
Jeff Probst, no, he did it again. Do you know who he picked to win this season, Will?
must have been Katrina.
Simone.
Why would, what?
I mean, apparently he was like mystified by her pregame talk, which was pretty aggressive. Uh,
Very
and
aggressive.
and then she didn't do any of that. So,
Yeah.
and in fairness, he didn't know she was just gonna drop the whole thing. But
Yeah.
he's not the best. So I like to do better than him, and so
Yeah.
far I have. Um, but anyway, let's. I guess that's gonna do it for
Yeah.
this episode recap. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Tribal Talk. And we will see you next week. Bye bye.